trickery is this? Mal'Ganis! I don't know how you survived, but I will...
Calm yourself, Prince Arthas. I am Tichondrius. Like Mal'Ganis, I am a Dreadlord. But I am not your enemy. In truth, I've come to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
By killing your own father and delivering this land to the Scourge, you have passed your first test. The Lich King is pleased with your enthusiasm.
Yes, I've damned everyone and everything I've ever loved in his name. And I still feel no remorse, no shame, no pity.
The rune blade that you carry was forged by the Lich King and empowered to steal souls. Yours was the first one it claimed.
Then I'll make do without one. What is the Lich King's will?
The cult of the damned must be rallied once again. Many of the acolytes have been in hiding amongst the populace. Once you've rallied them, I will give you further instructions.
No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally.
Greetings, great lord. Our master, Kel'Thuzad, told us that you would come.
Kel'Thuzad? How could he have known it?
Be wary. If the townsfolk see your undead minions, they'll call the local guards to stop you.
What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
The damned stand ready.
Prince Arthas, arm yourselves! Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
have returned.
Now, Frostmourne. You will know endless torment. Ah, at last. Finally.
The undead! Sound the alarm!
This is more like it. Finally.
The undead! Sound the alarm! Seek out the local graveyards. Those buried there will serve you well. My sight is yours.
Speak, fool. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. What is it now?
Mercy, my lord.
Ah, at last.
I bow to your will.
Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly.
I live only to serve, great lord.
Your pain shall be legendary.
This is more like it. I'll make sure you suffer. For the Lich King.
How could you murder your own father?
No one orders me around. Now, Frostborn. What is it now? Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it.
Help! The undead have returned.
Frostborn hungers. Speak, fool. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostborn hungers. At last. Frostborn hungers. Speak, fool. Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. What is it now? Finally. At last. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. At last. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostborn hungers. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Finally.
The undead! Sound the alarm!
This is more like it. At last. My life for Nazul. Frostborn hungers. Faithless coward. What is it now?
Ê, kia đây.
Speak, fool. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. Your pain shall be legendary. Finally. At last. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. You bastard! The damned stand ready. This is more like it. Finally. I'm in luck. These graves were dug recently. Arise in the name of the Lich King. This is more like it. At last. Tread lightly. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Say your prayers. I'll make sure you suffer. Bandits, run! Finally. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. The damned stand ready. Finally. For the Lich King.
Alhamdulillah.
This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Stand ready. What is it now? Finally. Frostmourne hungers. I bow to your will. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. I live only to serve, great lord. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. The damned stand ready.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last.
I live only to serve, great lord.
This is more like it.
You should burn in hell.
Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Ah, at last. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers. You will know endless torment. Finally. This is more like it.
The damned stand ready.
At last. Finally.
Mercy, my lord.
This is more like it.
Help!
Your pain shall be legendary.
The damned stand ready.
Frostmourne hungers.
Kill them all!
Finally. Speak, fool. For the Lich King. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Help! Mercy, my
This
lord.
is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne
Mercy, my
hungers.
lord.
Ah, at last.
My life for Nazul.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah,
Mercy,
at
my lord.
last. Finally.
You've betrayed us all.
Tread lightly. Finally. This is more like it.
My life for Nazul.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Faithless coward. I'll make sure you suffer. For the Lich King. Finally. What is it now?
The damned stand ready.
Now, Frostborn. Your pain shall be legendary.
Well done, Death Knight. The cult is nearly assembled.
Lordaeron lies in ashes. What good are these cultists to us now?
They will aid you in your next undertaking.
And what's that?
You will go to Underhall and recover the remains of the Acolyte's former master, the necromancer, Kel'Thuzad.